Hey, welcome back. Another day, another vlog. Rightio, last night, third Democratic debate in the States, or yesterday I guess, or last night. It was late tonight for us, but yesterday morning I guess. Top 10 guys got into it. There's some good stuff. Obviously, most of the comedians and shows that were sort of highlighting it just picked bits and pieces on them, but actually it looked like they were actually getting some decent discussions, and they trimmed a fair bit of the fat out of the guys that probably weren't ever, they were just sort of having a crack and not really going to be the president, or a chance to be the president, or the candidate for the Democrats. So yeah, it was good to see a little bit more sort of in-depth and a bit more actual, looking like we might have someone there to go against the Republicans with Trump. So yeah, a little bit more on. I was pretty happy with it. It's pretty cool. They started having a crack at each other, and there was a few sort of good points and bits and pieces about how they're going to pay for stuff and all that sort of stuff. So we're starting to get into the actual thick of what actually needs to happen. Going through a lot of policies. Like one of the guys wants to give, I think it's like every family $1,000 once a month or something for so long to help the economy get back, or to help people out, or whatever. So that was pretty interesting. I don't know if that'd work. So yeah, stuff like that. And obviously their Medicare is a huge thing. Getting a Medicare where they don't have to pay ridiculous money. I don't know if you've ever been involved with the American medical system. Most jobs supply medical, and like dental and medical as part of the job, so the business actually pays for any of your doctor visits and stuff like that. If you have to pay for yourself, it is huge money. So yeah, I think that's probably the one they should be all aiming at. And Medicare, I think that's the one that's going to help them get across the line against Trump. It's very important to the people. When Barack Obama actually brought that in, I think that's one that really endeared him to the American public. And it's something that, if they had that, well, it would help the people out, and it'd also take that pressure off the businesses, and they wouldn't have to pay for all those massive amounts of bills. So then they could help maybe the business grow that way. They've got to look at it the twofold ways. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, and we'll get some more of them now. They're going to like the next phase of that. So I think there's 10 there now, and I think they've got another session coming up shortly for that. News for the Territory. Litchfield National Park. If you've never been to the Territory, you've all heard of Kakadu. Kakadu is a huge, massive area. It's got some beautiful spots, but they're very segregated from each other, so it's sometimes a day's walk just to get to the next spot, or a four-wheel drive to the next spot. It's very, because it's thousands of kilometres. You've got places like Jim Falls, but then your rock paintings, you might have to walk 40 k's, and so it's very split. Where Litchfield Park is, you can basically drive through the whole park in a day and go to 3 or 4 different waterfalls. It's an hour and a half from Darwin instead of 4 or 5 hours from Darwin. It's got a lot going for it, and it's a beautiful spot. The NT government, the tourism industry, announced a massive big campaign with infrastructure to basically open up Litchfield Park. It's called Central Valley. It's going to open up 5 new swimming spots, new 4-wheel drive tracks, new campgrounds, trails, picnic areas, and I think it's 3 or 4 other waterfalls that were previously you'd have to walk through. I remember walking through there for school, and there's a hell of a lot more beautiful spots there. But they're going to make them more accessible, and they really want to pump that and make that a massive big tourism thing, because it's so close to Darwin. It's very easy for people who are coming that can't afford to spend a week out in Kakadu looking at 1 or 2 spots, when they go to Litchfield and see 10 spots in 3 days. So it's a brilliant idea. Going to be great for the tourism dollar, which is always good. Darwin's got hit hard since the gas plant pretty much closed up, so they're struggling up there. So I think this is a great idea, and it will definitely help with local jobs and businesses and money coming into the territory. And those tourists are going to see more of an amazing place. I think every time everyone's asked me where to go when they go to the territory, I've always told them go to Litchfield. It's between Florence Falls, Wongai Falls, you got Tolma as well. They're your three main ones, and there's some other areas in there but that are harder to get to. Florence Falls is just beautiful, and you've got Bully's Rock Hole right next to it, so that's like the #1 spot as far as I'm concerned. Tolma, which is a massive big 100-metre high waterfall with a bat cave underneath it. Very hard to get down the bottom. It's a fair old walk down, so it's not really ideal. And then Wongai, which is a big area. It's a beautiful big waterfall, a big lagoon at the bottom of the waterfall, camping grounds and all that. But it's a fair drive in, where Florence is not really that far from the closest township. So yeah, beautiful, great job from the NT government. I think it'll be good. It's going to take a couple of years, obviously, to get this done. They're talking 2020. They're going to start the main things, which is going to be the roads and open up the roads. So you guys want to do forward driving and stuff like that. There's going to be some more stuff there for those guys to do it. So it'll be really good. I reckon it's a good idea. So great job, NT government. It's great to see the old homeland getting a little bit of love. Want to talk about a computer? Obviously I'm an Apple guy. And it's this sucker here. I don't know if you can see it. It might be a bit tricky on the screen. It's the Lenovo Yoga A940. It's an all-in-one desktop, but I was checking it out last night, a review on it, and it's pretty darn special. It doesn't have the latest chip in it, but we'll talk more about that. Now, it's a big screen. Underneath it's got a unit, a base, and it's sort of like a peripherals base. So you can put a keyboard, sit your keyboard here, and that's got a magnetic base, so it'll sit there and it won't move. It's got the speakers are inbuilt into the base. It's got lights on the base of the screen. Over here you've got a mouse pad, a wireless charging dock for your mouse. Also you can put your phone there and wirelessly charge it, and it's because it's a touch screen, which is brilliant. It's also got like your pen. So now that is not probably the best part about it. That's like really good as it is. But it also tilts, pivots and comes down, so you can basically pull your screen right down, so it's like a drawing easel as well, which is brilliant for graphic designers, engineers, stuff like that. And if you're doing work like editing, if you're sitting there and that's a better spot to sit there and you can go through your timelines and stuff from Premiere Pro. So if you're a Windows person, brilliant. Now this little device on the side, which goes into a little USB port, it's a dial, so you can sit there and custom program that into, so instead of having to go through and go up and down or scroll on your mouse, you can sit there and pre-program it to whatever software you're using, and it'll change colours depending on that software, and then you can rotate it, so it might be brush size or whatever. In Lightroom you might be in there doing stuff like that, so it might be, you just go and adjust it. So it has some fantastic features. Full touchscreen, you can use your finger or the pen provided. It's got USB-C 4 or 5, USB 3.0 and the 3.10s, HDMI port, so you can run it to your laptop to it. Really good. The chips in it, it's not an i9 chip, it was an i7, I think, I'm pretty sure. I'll show you some more, I don't know if you can see more photos. But yeah, see the tilting base, that's got an arm, so you can tilt it and you can sit it on any angle you want. So you can bring it up, have it straight up, or come down and bring it down, or sit it there just like that and sit there and work on things on your. So if you're working in Lightroom, you can just sit there with a pen and do all your fine adjustments with brushes and stuff. So just for creative people, if you're a Windows person and you run a desktop, I think it's definitely worth a look. The specs weren't too bad. They've upped it. Okay, they've upped it from the thing. You can now get an i9 in it, i9 9900 in it. The review I seen on it, you only had an i7 in it, so that's really, really strange. 10 Pro, 27-inch 4K screen, and it's full 100% Adobe RGB with Dolby Vision. So for your colours are going to be exactly what they're supposed to be. So that's really, really good, especially for like Photoshop, Lightroom, and for any guys doing their videos and stuff for creative types. So you're going to get exactly what you need. Whatever you see is exactly what's going to come out. So that's really important. 32 gig of memory. You can get a 1 terabyte SSD and a 2 terabyte HDD. Graphics cards on your AMD RX 560, but because it's got that USB-C in there, you can easily chuck in a RXT 2080 and smash your graphics out to the moon. So yeah, really, really it's got heaps of options. Dolby Atmos for the stereo. 25 degrees is the tilt angle, so that's a maximum tilt. It's fairly heavy, 15 kilos. It's got the old wireless, it's only AC, it's not the new wireless AX, which is strange. I've actually noticed that on a few products, and I meant to look the other day actually at the new iPhones to check if it is AX for the wireless. It's all starting to come out in all the different bits and pieces. All the new routers and stuff are all got the AX version, which is the latest one. So it's strange not to see it as much. Bluetooth, it's got all the HDMIs and all the stuff you can want. It's got a 1080p camera, but it's also on the top of the camera. It's got a privacy slide, so for those people that are concerned, and after watching things like those movies about the hacked and what they did with all the politics and stuff, I'd definitely be sliding that across, so you can slide across so no one can see what you're doing if they do hacking. So that's pretty good, all the good stuff. So an amazing bit of kit. So for you guys that are into creative and you do run Windows, you're not an Apple person, I highly suggest you look at this. I'll link it to, this is an English site that's selling it. They've got it there for £1,700. If you add in probably another graphics card, it's probably going to be roughly about the £2,000, I guess, over there. So we're probably looking at about 3,000 to 4,000. I think I looked at one on eBay. There was one there for $4,000 in Australia. So that's probably going to be 2,000 basically in America, around about there. Sort of for that money, that's a really, really good kit. I'd definitely check it out. The guy that reviewed it, Zone of Tech, he had nothing but good things to say about it, and he does a heap of graphic stuff and logo stuff in his business, and he sat there and was using it and said it worked really well. And that only had the i7, and this model's got the i9, so they've obviously upgraded it with the new chips. But yeah, what a really well thought out, well designed computer for creative people. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me today. Not too much else news in there, bits and pieces, but enough really stuff to really annoy you on a Saturday. It is the weekend. I hope you had a good Friday night. Your hangover's not bouncing too hard. Get up, nice glass of water to start the day. Maybe go for a walk, go for a swim down the beach while it's still semi-cool before it gets too hot. That'll freshen you up, give you a bit of a wake up. For you guys in Perth, the Perth Boat Show's on at the end of this month. Next time I'm home, so I'm gonna try and get to that on the Saturday if I can. I might take young Jack with me, go check out some fishing stuff and what's on in the canoes and fishing gear. Might be a good little video. Me and Jack can go check out some gear like that. It looks pretty cool. Anyway, that's it from me. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you're going home, you've just got home from out night, so that means you're going to be really hurting, or you're getting ready to go out tonight. Stay safe, have a great Saturday, and we'll see you all Sunday. Bye.